Hello, I'm Ulvena, and this is another Modderly mod pack. This week we're handling weather and weather-related mods. I've come up with a list of mods that I find kind of really helps to evoke the cold, harsh climate that Skyrim is supposed to have. I've found that Supreme Storms does a really good job of handling both snow and rainstorms. Combined with Climates of Tamriel, it has a really good effect on the way the game looks during snowstorms, as well as making combat in a storm not really that good of an idea. You can see here in Windhelm, which is where my family is located in this game, my son child here is wearing a hood. He's got some steamy breath and is kind of looking a little frosty there. And that is thanks to wet and cold, which kind of helps to add that extra layer of realism. You might also see some NPCs wandering around with cloaks on, and that is because I have Winter is Coming cloaks and Cloaks of Skyrim, which add cloth and fur cloaks to the game, and sort of make it feel like the NPCs are actually aware of the fact that the place they're living in is cold as balls. So you can see nice thick. There's also another version of Wet and Cold, which is Wet and Cold Ashes, which can be used for Solstheim. And here we have a really nice thunderstorm. Again, Supreme Storms does a really good job with the thunderstorming, along with Climates of Tamriel. You might see, if you look at the ground, you can kind of see, I didn't really get a good shot of it, but I'm also using a splash of rain, which adds just a little tiny splashing animation when on the ground and hard surfaces, to sort of add just that extra level of realism to rainstorms. I don't know if you caught it, but when we saw Esbern there a few seconds ago, he had some water dripping off of him, which is also handled by Wet and Cold. Just a reason that mod is so awesome. And I love the sound of the thunder. This is a clip that was in, and thanks to Supreme and Volumetric Fog, you can see in this clip, the fog in the Morthal Swamp can come in very quickly and very thick. You will also see, slightly more subtle fog effects depending on where you are and what weather is currently affecting the area. This is a rainbow brought in by the Rainbows mod. It's a very lightweight mod, and the conditions for rainbows are pretty rare in the game. It requires some very specific things to happen, and so in order to actually get a shot of it, I had to force it with the console. I think they look amazing. Another mod is the Shooting Stars mod, just sort of a little tidbit to reward you for staring at Skyrim's beautiful night skies. The last mod I'll be talking about is the Realistic Water 2, which normally I use the Water, W-A-T-E-R mod, but I found Realistic Water 2 combined with Watercolor for E&B and Realistic Water 2. You get this really amazing sun scattering effect that happens and just makes the sun reflecting off the water look awesome. And now, why am I including this in with the weather mods? It just seemed like the appropriate place. Water is what the sky reflects, what the sky above it looks like. So it just seemed appropriate to include it here. So the complete list, in case you missed it, of mods that I currently am running is Climates of Tamriel, which also means I'm running the Climates of Tamriel weather patch. I've got Supreme Storms, Supreme and Volumetric Fog, Rainbows, Shooting Stars, A Splash of Rain, Wet and Cold, Winter is Coming cloaks, Cloaks of Skyrim, Realistic Water 2, and Watercolor for E and B and Realistic Water 2. I'm going to have a complete write-up of this over on my website, so head on over to modderly.com. I'll have a link here in a second. And don't forget to like and subscribe if the video was helpful to you or gave you some ideas for mods that you can use in your Skyrim setup. And don't forget to check back next week when we will feature another mod pack. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.